Hello everyone, this is Abiola David. In this video tutorial, we're going to learn how to import our Excel data into the Microsoft Azure SQL database, and of course we're going to connect back to the same data and export to Excel. Let's get started. Now, the Microsoft Azure is a public cloud computing platform that enables us to perform analytics, visual computing, storage, networking, and so on and so forth. Now let's see our sample data. Over here in Excel, we have this data formatted in an Excel table, which we're going to import into the SQL database over there. Now let's go to our Microsoft.azure.com. So this is my platform. So I'm going to click on SQL servers. Then over here, click on this add button. Now over here, we have the create SQL database server. Now under the basic tabs, we need to provide a name for our resource group. So let's select training. Okay, then for our server details, I'm going to make it to be Excel Jet Consult, and that will be Excel Jet Consult.database.windows.net, so which is fine. And let's leave this out. For my administrator account, let's make this to be Abiola, and for my password, let's do that, and let's confirm our password. Okay, everything is fine. So click on this review plus create. Then we have all the details we've just entered over there. Finally, click on create. Now we're going to say validating, initializing deployment, and submitting our deployment. Let's click on that, and we can see the work in progress. Okay, we can see your deployment is underway. So just wait for some few seconds. Finally, we can see that our deployment is complete. Now we can download the deployment details if we want. So next we're going to do is to click on go to resource. So we can see that we have created Excel Jet Consult SQL server. The next thing we're going to do is to click on this create database. And we're directed to the same create SQL database. Now under the basic tab, we only need to do one thing, and which is the database name. Let's use Azure Global Bootcamp. Okay, so that's going to be our database name. So what we're going to do next is to click on review plus create, and finally we click on create, and we can see validating, initializing deployment, submitting deployment. So we can see the work that is going on. Again, we have to wait for some few seconds for the deployment to be finally concluded. Now finally we can see that our deployment is complete. Again, we need to just go to resource. Now we have created our SQL database, and we have the information Excel Jet Consult and / Azure Global Bootcamp. So the next thing we need to do is to go to the management studio. So this is my management studio. Now click on connect and click on database engine. Now I need to provide my server name. So let's go back to our portal Azure. Now this is my server name, Excel Jet Consult.database.windows.net. So I just click on this, copy to clipboard, then I proceed back to the management studio, then I just Ctrl V to paste. Now for the authentication, I'm going to click on this drop down and select SQL Server Authentication. So for my login, I'm going to provide, I think Abiola should be the login. So for my password, let's put in my password. Then if you wanted to remember, you click on remember password, then click on connect. Now we can see this thing that's coming out, new firewall rule. Your client's IP address does not have access to the server, so we have to sign into an Azure account and create a new firewall rule to enable access. No problem. What I'm going to do is come back to my portal over here. Now set server firewall. So when I click on that, I have my firewall settings. All I need to do here is simple. I'm going to click on add client IP. So when I click on add client, I have it added over here. And finally click on save to commit that into changes. Can we see updating server firewall rules? Now successfully updated. Now let's go back to our management studio. So let's cancel. Again, let's just click connect and it will grant us access fully. Okay, we can see that we have our Excel jet consult.database.windows and so on and so forth. So when I click on these databases, the plus sign, we can see this is our database, Azure Global Bootcamp. No problem. So let's just click on this plus sign and we can see that we do not have a table here. So when I click on that tables, we discover that we do not have any data that is imported. Okay, so nothing is imported. Now what I'm going to do is to right click on this Azure Global Bootcamp. So right click, then select task, then we click on import data. Now we have the SQL Server import and export wizard. So I need to choose the data source. So over here I'm going to choose this drop down. Actually I want to import from Excel. So I choose Microsoft Excel. Then I need to browse through the Excel file path, which is on my desktop. So click on browse. Then I'm going to select Azure Excel data. Then click on open. Okay, so very importantly, under the Excel version, I'm going to stick with this 97 to 2003, which is important. Then my first row as column name. Click on next. Then I need to choose the destination. So for my destination, click on this drop down. I want to select SQL Server Native Client 11.0. And for my server name, we have the server name here. And for my authentication, select use SQL Server authentication. My login, Abiola. Then I pump in my password. We must ensure it is correct. So we actually want it under the Azure Global Bootcamp database, which is fine. Then I click on next. Then we have this next step. So all I need to do is to click on next. And then we can see all kinds of tables, sheets that are in our data. So this is what we want. This is the sheet data. Then we can click on preview to see whether we're actually importing what we want. Yes, this is exactly what we want. Okay, so click on OK. Then we click on next. Then we want to run immediately. Let's just click on finish, then finish. So we can see performing operation. Okay, everything is going on well. Okay, to items. Now we have 1041 records of rows. So everything is fine. All I need to do is to click on close. Then just right click again. And then want to refresh our database. Okay, so when I click on these tables, then I can see the particular data that we just imported, which is fine. Now let's go back to our portal, to our Microsoft Azure. Now everything is fine. Let's just close this window. Now let's return to home. Now I'm going to just click on Azure Global Bootcamp. Okay, so when I click on that, it leads me directly over here, so I can actually see so many informations. Okay, now what I'm going to do is quickly I'm going to select query editor preview. So click on that and it opens the query editor. Then I need to provide my password again. Click OK. So it has to log me in again. Now we can see under our tables views, so I'm going to click on these tables. Then we can actually see our data over here. So let's just write a simple query to see the data. So I'm going to say select, all from data. So when I click on run, we're gonna see all the data. Okay, can you see we have all the data ready? Okay, let's see our button. Now our data is actually ready. Clear view. Now the next we're going to do, this is how to basically import our data into SQL Server, Azure. Now let's open a new Excel workbook. So I've opened a new one. Let me just close this, our sample data. Close. So in this new workbook, what I'm going to do is we can actually get the data into Excel in two ways, but let's just show you one way because of our time. So click on data view, data tab. So when I click on data tab, then I can click on get data. Then I want to get from Azure SQL database. So I click on that. So let's go over here and let's copy, click on home. Okay, let's just, don't worry, we don't need to save. Click on home and let's click on Excel.consult. Let's copy our, okay, let's go back over here. So I want to copy our server name. Now this is our server name again, so I'm going to just copy it. Let's return to Excel. Now we have the SQL Server database, so I'm going to just paste my server name into the box. Then I click on OK. Then we have this window open. So what we're going to do is very simple. So I'm going to click on this database. So for my username, I'm going to provide Abiola and my password. Finally click on connect. Good. So we can see that we have this, our navigator open, which many of us are probably familiar with if we work with Power Query. So this is my server name and this is the particular database. So I click on that, Azure Global Bootcamp. Then this is the data. So click on that. We can see the preview to the right. Okay. Now let's just load it straight into Excel. Amazing. Can you see that we have our data loaded into Excel, fully ready? Okay, so we can actually see our data. Of course, we can actually get rid of days. Okay, we have our data in Excel. Can you see? So you can see all the records, and of course we can perform further analysis that we may want. So this is essentially the cycle of how to import our data into the Microsoft Azure database, and then we export to Excel. I hope you've learned something new. Thank you for watching my video, and bye for now.